Good afternoon, boys and girls. Excuse me, I'm sorry. Mommies and daddies, and grandmommies and grandpappies. Today's story is Still No New Neighbors. Wow. I wonder how come. The other night, Little Bad Wolf overheard Mrs. Farmer Brown and Mr. Farmer Brown talking. And Mr. Farmer Brown says, "Oh, darling honey, Mrs. Farmer Brown, you know what I was told today?" And Mrs. Farmer Brown says, "Sweetheart, what did you get told today?" And he says, "Well, I got told by the new people that are at the hotel, the neighborhood hotel, that they're not going to be able to move in yet." "Oh," she says, "what's the matter? Did their house not get finished?" And he says, "Oh no," he says, "the house is finished, but," he says, "their furniture is stuck up in Washington State." She says, "Wait a minute, I thought they came from Washington, D.C. And he says, "They did, but somehow their furniture got sent to Washington State." Now, boys and girls, Washington State is clear across the whole United States and up at the top before you get to Alaska, and Florida's way down here and Washington's way up here. Okay, so that furniture has a long ways to go. And Mrs. Farmer Brown says, "Well, do they know when it's supposed to come?" And Mr. Farmer Brown says, "They think it'll be next Friday." "Oh," she says, "so we get to have them for one more week?" And he says, "Yes, we do." And he says, "I'm excited because that will give me some money to finish the rest of the rooms in the hotel and maybe get something left over, which I'll buy something for you." And she says, "Now, Mr. Farmer Brown, you don't have to do that. But, sweetheart, honey, it's okay if you do." And he just laughed and laughed. Well, Mr. Little Bad Wolf said, "Oh, well, I thought they were going to have a kid that's going to be in our grade. I guess we won't meet him until Friday or even next Monday." So that next day, he goes and he tells Piggly, Wiggly, and Squiggly, and the alligator, that the neighbors weren't moving in yet. They wasn't going to move in until a whole week more. And Squiggly says, "Wow, and where'd you say their furniture is?" And Allie says, "Washington State, and I'm not sure what that means." And so Squiggly got a piece of paper out and he drew a map of the United States. Wasn't exactly perfect, but it was pretty doggone close. And Little Bad Wolf says, "Oh, you're smarter than I am." And Squiggly says, "No, not smarter than you are. I just happen to like geography, so I know kind of where things are." And Wiggly says, "Yeah, he's always bragging about how much he knows." And Piggly says, "Now, you know, Piggly, you know a lot about science, and I don't know math, and I don't know science, and I don't know geography." And Wiggly says, "But you do know history." And that's a real important thing to learn too, boys and girls. If you learn history, you know what happened way before your mama and daddy was born. And they always say that you learn from history what not to do. And I think that's pretty well being proven right now. So Squiggly says, "Well, so what did you say? You said the Washington State." He says, "Okay." He says, "Washington State's over here, and there's the Pacific Ocean, and there's Alaska." Wow, they're all looking at the map. "Where's Florida?" And Squiggly says, "Now, Florida is that little leg sticking down at the bottom." "Oh, you mean this one right here?" And Squiggly says, yep, that's Florida. Whoa, that's a long ways apart. Oh, I thought the way that Mr. Farmer Brown and Mrs. Farmer Brown was talking that it was a long ways apart, but wow, I didn't know it was that far apart. And Squiggly says, well, did you hear when the furniture was coming? And he said, Little Bad Wolf says, I think it's supposed to be Friday. But I bet you that boy that's going to be in our class, I bet you that he won't be here until Monday. What do you think? Because they're not going to start him on a Friday. And besides that, they got to put their house together. So I bet you it's going to be Monday before he gets to school. And Squiggly says, I think you're probably right. So they got one more week to meet this boy, another little wolf. They got another whole week. Oh my goodness, gracious sakes. So, I can't think where I'm going. So anyway, they got settled down and they had class. And Miss Eileen says, I have news for all you boys and girls. I have news. And they said, oh, goody, goody, what's our news? And she says, well, Friday, she says, today, you know, is the end of the school week. And when we come back Monday, guess where we're going to be on Friday? Ooh. And Piggly says, well, I hope we're here because I want to meet this new boy. And Squiggly says, be quiet, I can't hear Miss Eileen. And Little Bad Wolf says, oh. Well, Miss Eileen got word that that big art project that they did out on the sidewalk, the committee picked 10 different papers, 10 different, that they drew on the sidewalk from all over Florida. They picked 10 of them. And the boys and girls that worked on the pictures were supposed to come to Jacksonville, Florida, to meet the governor. Oh, now he's in Tallahassee, but Jacksonville is close to Tallahassee, so he can go to Jacksonville if he wants to. Well, then the committee would pick out the very best one of those 10. How about that? Miss Eileen was all excited, and so Little Bad Wolf says, can I ask a question? And she said, sure, Little Bad Wolf. And he says, so our class was in that 10? And she said, yes, it was. She said, so we're all going to get a big bus, and Mr. Farmer Brown is going to drive us to Jacksonville on the bus. So all of you kids get to go. Oh my gosh. And so Patty Pig says, can I go? And she says, what do you want, Patty Pig? And Patty Pig says, are we going to spend the night? Do I have to bring pajamas? We're going to spend the night? And Miss Eileen, she says, yes, we are. And she says, then we're going to tour around some different places that I've got in mind, because that'll be Saturday. So I want you to go home, and I want you to ask your mamas if they will volunteer to be, what's the word? Chaperones. If they will be chaperones. And Piggly says, what's chaperones again? And she says, okay, Piggly, she says, chaperone is when one of our parents goes with us, and I will divide you kids into a group. It depends on how many chaperones go with us, because I would like a whole bunch to go with us so that they won't have so many of you kids to watch. Ah, okay. So they went home that afternoon and they begged Mummy Piggy to be a chaperone. And of course, Little Bad Wolf begged Mrs. Farmer Brown to be a chaperone too. So we'll see Wednesday how many chaperones and how many kids. Okay? So with that, the day was over. Wow. That was a quick day, wasn't it? So, excuse me, their mamas came to pick them up, and all the boys and girls were so excited about this overnight trip and sightseeing the next day. Oh, lordy, 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 lordy. So they all asked their mamas if they would be chaperones. Now, I don't know how many it's going to be, because I haven't heard. It's not next Wednesday yet, but I haven't heard. Maybe we will hear some of the boys and girls will bring back their notes on Monday. You reckon they will? I bet they do. So that, boys and girls, is the end of the story for today. I want to make special note to say hello to Zach and Caden. Hi, sweethearts, up in Pennsylvania. That's a hard word to say, isn't it? It's even a harder word to spell, because it's got some V's and some Y's in it. Whoosh. Those words are hard to spell, aren't they? And a special hello to my little lighting chick. My little lighting chick is my granddaughter and great-granddaughter, and she used to help turn on and off all the lights when we had to use the lights. We don't have to now. So, hello, Lilia. How are you doing, darling? Okay. And anybody else that wants to say, hey, I'm here. So please, mamas and puppies and grandmommies and grandpuppies, please like, share, and comment. Okay? And that is all for today. I will see you Monday, and hopefully that there'll be some slips back. Hi, Cindy Cathy. I always like Cindy Cathy's name because it's two first names. And so everybody wants to know her last name. But her last name is Cathy. I love that. I think that is so cute. I see a sign down here that says, bring them on the camera. Well, pretty soon, I understand that the lady is coming to take school pictures, and we will have pictures of all the boys and girls. So, stay tuned for that one, okay? I think that's all. I get it all the time. Aw, thank you, Cathy, or Cindy. Thank you, Cindy. I appreciate that. I really do. As long as you're sharing them with somebody, okay? All right. So, boys and girls, bye-bye for today, okay?